Good. I We had a full day of rehearsal. We're obviously coming in. Our flight's Sunday, so we're just getting rehearsal in, and then yeah, that was about it.
Yeah,
Pretty
so
chill day.
soon. Are you looking forward to
Yeah.
that flight?
No,
No.
no, that part I'm definitely not looking forward to.
Yeah, yeah, it sucks. You've done it before though, haven't you?
I know I've done it. Like I've flown to like vacation and like gone on vacation in Indonesia and done a couple other things, but I've never been to Australia. The band has never been to Australia. I did a flight to South Africa once. I did a flight to Indonesia once. Those are miserably long, obviously, but as like like it's a totally different thing when you fly as a band too, because you have like 20 pieces of equipment and it's eight people, and
Mhm.
everybody's got to go through and move as a unit. It moves very slowly, and there's like always an issue when you get to the counter of like they
Of
didn't,
course.
the fees are different than they said they were online, and you got a media pass, blah blah blah. So we've done it to England, like to Europe, UK a couple times, but Australia will be a first time. So good old Qantas bringing us over. We're looking forward to it.
Yes. Yeah. And well, I've always wondered, do you guys have much time to sort of chill out before you have to play a show, like a couple days, or is it like straight away you're playing?
It depends. I think we have 1.5 days before and like 2.5 days after
Okay.
the
Yeah.
tour. So we
That's
have like a little time before and after to like, but to be honest, a lot of the time that gets filled with like press,
yes.
like going to Triple J or doing whatever. Like that's probably what we'll end up doing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh well. I hope
it's
you
all
guys
good.
can recover and not have jet lag too bad. That would suck.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. It's that's the life I chose. I'm not complaining about it. It's all good.
Yeah. And speaking of Australia, it's a big first for you guys. What are you looking forward to on your tour down under?
Honestly, everything. I love traveling. It's like one of my favorite things in the world. It's so important. I feel like I'm pretty well traveled overall for an American, all things considered. And I feel it's a continent I've never been to, and it's one like I just have always wanted to travel to. And I don't know anything about the culture really. I know that there's like koalas and kangaroos and beaches and Vegemite, and that's about it, to be honest. Like I don't know much, honestly, at all. I think everybody just like knows the accent is
Yeah.
like people in America. We just like joke about the accent every now and then, and I wasn't aware until like well after we accepted the offer for the tour that you can't drive. Like you have to fly between every show.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea. Like I didn't realize Australia was as big as it is, and all like coastal, and you can't really drive. So I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know. I didn't know shit about Australia before
Yeah.
this. So I'm kind of just coming into it like completely wide-eyed, like just looking to just like have fun and like immerse myself in it. So I'm looking forward to it a ton.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll love it. Make sure you do get, if you can, try and get to see something wherever, whatever state you're in, try and see something natural or yeah, you'll love it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
And Forever Yours hit 20 million streams, which is massive. Do you have any favorite behind the scenes moments or stories related to that track's success?
Um, no, I think it was actually one of the it was I think might have been one of the last songs that we wrote for that album. That was our first full-length record.
Yeah.
Came out in 2017, and that was actually the last song that we wrote like right before we went into the studio to record it. So, it's kind of just like funny how that works, where you have an entire record written, and then at the end you're like, oh, let's like no like kind of just see what happens, like throw some stuff at the wall and see if something sticks. And we ended up getting that one like the day before we went to the studio, which was a great thing, obviously for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did that success feel? Was it a kind of pinch me moment or
I don't really think of it like that. I just like I'm all about like just the shows and like the interaction with the fans. Like obviously that one's been one that people love, and I think people love like acoustic music. I think a lot it's like very listenable for people, and I think that's great. And I think I don't have like anything particular about one song as far as like success over another. Like I just love playing and writing music. You know what I mean? I think we're really excited about to be able to come to Australia because we tried to come through, but lockdown kind of messed up our schedules. So
Mhm.
this is our first time at all, like I said. So supporting slowly, and then doing a couple of headliners where we can do some of our older songs too, just for fans. Like we're really looking forward to kind of giving everybody any Australian fan, um, like any Australian fan of ours, just like everything that we have that they've been waiting for like 4 records at this point. So we're looking forward to giving everything.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely. So it sounds like you're more interested in playing the live music rather than the success of certain songs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the alt rock and punk influences in your music are so strong. What was the first album you remember completely obsessing over?
I would say the self-titled Third Eye Blind record was one of them. A lot of those like 90s rock bands that I grew up like listening to with my dad, honestly, in the car, like they were on the radio at the time, like in America, like Eve Six, Third Eye Blind, Fuel, Wallflowers, um, a lot of that. And then like my parents listen to a ton of like Zeppelin and like older kind of classic rock bands that I love. But I would say as far as for me, it was a lot of like 90s alt rock, Gin Blossoms, those kind of bands. And then obviously the mix in of like Zeppelin and AC/DC and bands like
Yeah.
that for sure. And then some like punk bands too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, awesome. We can definitely hear it in your music too, like the different influences. It's not just cut, this is, this genre. It's yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Um,
I think we just think of it as just like alternative
yeah,
rock. You know what I mean? Like, and it's
yeah,
just kind of a combination of a lot of things for sure.
yeah, definitely. And if you could collaborate with any band or artist, past or present, to create a song, who would it be and why?
I think it'd be like, I think it'd be Led Zeppelin. I think they're
Yeah,
like
you're not.
my favorite band of all time. I think they're like, yeah, I mean, they're probably, I don't know, I think they're like the best rock band of all time. I just think being in the room with them, like picking their brains and learning stuff that'd probably be my answer. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I think
sure.
that's a pretty fair call.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And since The Heart just dropped in January, how do you feel like your music has evolved from your previous albums?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I feel like in some ways it's changed a lot. In some ways it's stayed the same. It's just kind of been this natural thing of like our first record was just like a like punk rock record. Our second one we kind of experimented Nella Vita, we kind of experimented with a little more like pop production, a little more like electronic stuff kind of I mean not even electronic, just like pop production in rock music. And then like Umbra, our third record was a little more like it had strings and it had choirs and it had brass sections, is a little more like theatrical, you
Yeah.
know? And then The Heart, I feel like is sort of all of the good things I feel about all three of those records just refined is kind of how it feels like it almost like this whole era of our band feels like a self-titled
Mhm.
era in the sense of it's like the most time we took between records and this one was kind of taking all the things we've done on our previous records and really identifying like what is the most unique to us and what we love about our music and like making the best version of all of that combined, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Is it almost like you
Yeah.
guys have really found your sound with The Heart?
Yeah, I feel that way. I
Yeah.
definitely feel that way. I would never say like anything prior feels
Not,
like not authentic in any
yeah.
way, but I think this is like it feels like something we've been working towards
Yeah.
sonically, something that's like the most unique to us, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. And you've toured with some heavy hitting bands like All Time Low and Gym Class Heroes. What's one
Hmm.
piece of advice you've taken away from a band you've toured with?
Just like I mean, I think just watching bands like All Time Low or Boys Like Girls or The Main or bands like that that got like they're kind of been doing it a long time and had a lot of success and they're all bands that we look up to and are friends with. I think there's so much just watching them every night like from a performance standpoint not only like performing as a musician, but performing as a performer, like interacting with the crowd, all those things. And then I can't speak highly enough about all of those bands I listed, like how good they've been to us, how good they are as people, and it's yeah, I guess just the way you carry yourself and treat support bands that are on the tour with you, and how you kind of watching them as a musician, watching them do their thing. I think it's been inspiring for me for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Isn't it nice when, you are touring or you get to meet these big musicians and they treat you as equal and not like someone below them just because,
Yeah, of course,
yeah,
definitely.
so nice. And you guys have been making music together since 2016. What's the one thing that stayed the same for you as a group, no matter how much has changed over the years?
I mean, we've been like friends since well before that. We've been friends since like 20. 2011, 2010 or something. So we've been friends since we were in like eighth, ninth grade, like ninth grade. So
Yeah.
I would say to answer that, like us has stayed exactly the same. It's never like it's always kind of been like friends. We've been like best friends, like literally like brothers before anything. And then um yeah, like we've stayed exactly the same as we were when we were kids, and we still love each other so much the same way in different ways, evolved ways, and we've been through a lot together personally. Um, and it's just like brought us closer, and I'm really like proud and have a lot of love for all of them for sure.
Yeah. Obviously, you guys
Yeah.
have really good communication to stay friends that long, but also be able to tell each other, what's working, what's not working.
Yeah, I mean, I think in any relationship, you need good communication for sure. I mean, it's always like something people continually need to improve on. I feel like a lot of people, as I have grown up, it's like communication. I feel can solve good communication can solve a lot of like personal conflicts. You know what I mean? And that's something I continue to learn. I'm still learning over and over again for sure.
Yeah, me too. And every album brings something new. What's one thing on your bucket list that you still want to achieve creatively with Grayscale?
That's a good question. I've never been asked that before. I don't know. I think our band just continues to more lean more and more into like rock, and I'm like I don't know creatively. Like we don't plan anything out ahead of time, like knowing exactly what the next record is going to sound like. It's kind of something that of like uncovers itself as you do it. But I could see a world where our moving forward, our music is just like more and more just like rock leaning,
Yeah,
and so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I mean, we already are, but it's like there's a lot of like synths, and that's just like what Grayscale kind of always been. In the heart's like the best version of exactly that. But yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me with somebody that wonders if we just write like a straight up like rock and roll record. Like
yeah,
that'd be fun as shit. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see what naturally happens creatively.
yeah, that's awesome. And you're known for your emotional lyrics. Do you ever feel like you're putting your heart on the line when you release something personal, or is it more liberating than scary?
All the time. I feel like I feel like it is liberating and it is scary, but at the same time, like I feel not to be like I hate being like the super like art guy, like artsy guy, but um I feel it's just like what good art deserves. Like I feel almost like that's something that I owe to music itself. Like it's something all the influences I have, like Bruce Springsteen and Third Eye Blind and these incredible lyricists that I've grown up listening to. It's like it's not really up to me. Like I don't have a choice. If that's a story I have to tell, and it's real, it's like it's not really up to me to keep it to myself in like a if at least either don't write about it, or if I'm gonna write about it, it's like write about it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And don't and that's what good art is like that's why people go back and it
yeah,
stays with people is not just a song that's like, it can be catchy or fun or whatever, and that's great. And there's like I love pop music, like I love all kinds of music. It's not specific to any genre, but I think the songs that have really stuck with me are the ones that like oftentimes, the lyrics, um there's no surrender to it being too personal. You know what I mean?
yeah.
There's always like it's inspiring when it's really, really like somebody wearing their heart on their sleeve.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's raw and unfiltered. And do you ever, because I feel like in my position, if I was to be a lyricist, I would get worried about what like my family or friends would think. How do you deal with that?
I just don't.
Yeah,
I just do it, and then I mean, there's, I mean, honestly, there's like often when a record comes out and I'll get a call from somebody that's pissed about something.
yeah,
Not really, but like I think there's emotional. Like I had some really like sentimental songs about like deep songs about like my relationship with like my mom on a couple of records, and like
yeah,
that's an example of something where it's like it's definitely something that has to be like talked about when it comes out, or if I show them ahead of time and like their
yeah,
reaction can be mixed, or they find out and like talk to me about it. But that's just kind of again, it's kind of something that I don't really feel like that's art.
yeah. You don't need to explain yourself, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean that, and it's just like that's like a lived experience, and that's like what I feel that I want to do the story justice, and it's like it's never been a problem actually. Like I'm
Yeah.
fucking around saying like I've got a call from somebody, but
No,
it's like
no. Yeah,
yeah, like that's like something with like my mom in particular. I've had to like talk about and work through for
yeah.
sure.
yeah, pre-warn, I guess maybe did you pre-warn that, look, there's a song coming out, or was it just like, just
First one that came out in 2017, which wasn't a very nice song. There was no warning. And then the most recent one, which was a kinder song, but a very open, vulnerable one.
Mhm.
Uh, um, there were two songs. One's called Mum and one's called Mum Too. They're like the same, uh, like about the same thing. It's about the relationship that I have with my mom and how it's evolved. But the second one, which is on the heart, um, it was already done and put on the record and pressed on vinyl. But by that time, I think it was before it came out. I like went to her and like played it for her type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, nice. And do you have any memorable fan interactions or wild stories from your time on the road?
I mean, yeah, I have plenty. I feel like I'd have to really think about this, but I've had a lot of memorable ones. Like I think it's just fun. Like our fans are like very hyper involved, and it's awesome, and they're so committed, and like they mean the world to us. And I there's just times where like I remember the first time we toured like Europe, UK. Like every time we go there, like somewhere we talked about how we love like Kinder and Cadbury chocolate because we don't really have it in America. There's more now. There's more like you can get it now a little more commonly, but there's less of a selection. But um, we like there's times when we come to like Europe, UK, like almost every time we come, there's like fans that just come with like buckets of just
Mm.
chocolate. Like you just we because we love like European chocolate. Like chocolate over Europe, UK is so much better than here on average, and so we get a ton of that. I think that's like a lighthearted one, but I think that's one that
Yeah.
I love about like, they found out we love chocolate. We talk about how good European chocolate is, and so every time we come over, we're just like, you know, brought so much more chocolate than we can even eat ourselves through if we wanted to. So we have to leave it. We eat as much as we can, and we end up not being able to bring it all. But it's yeah,
Yeah.
it's been amazing.
Oh, awesome. Well, that's a little note to all the Australian fans because I think our chocolate is even better than the European chocolate.
Do you really?
Yes, I know that your chocolate in the US, I don't know, it tastes like watery dirt or something. Sorry, no offense. Um,
It's all right.
and then the European one is getting there, but I think ours is better for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully some
Hopefully
Australian
get
fans
some.
hear this and bring a couple
Yeah.
samples. That would be wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. And on the same topic, can you think of like the weirdest gift a fan has ever given you?
Uh, I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think of like an appropriate one for an interview,
Oh
but
dear.
um, um, let me think. I think it's interesting sometimes when we get like resumes, like I mean, it's not a gift. It's like, but there'll be resumes about um it's like it's very like endearing, but it's resumes about like as far as like touring roles, which we just happen to have filled already. But I
Yeah.
think it's like it is like it's very kind and like meaningful, but it's like it's something where it's like we already have those roles filled. But I think it's a very like interesting thing that I guess I didn't see coming was people would come and like bring resumes to like wanting to be a part of like the touring party or like work with the band or for the band, which I thought was like a really nice thing. It's not really a weird thing. I think it was just something unexpected, I guess, is a better
Yeah.
way of saying that. Something I didn't, yeah.
Expect.
But I
Yeah.
can't really think. I have some other ones like in mind, but they're like not
Not.
the best thing to talk about in an interview. I mean, I guess a better example is just like it's not weird, but it's just like weed, just
Oh
being
yeah.
brought weed all the time or drugs, and some of them are drugs that we don't do, and we're like, no, like I don't, I don't.
Yeah. Have it back.
Thanks, thanks, but take that back. Thank you.
Yeah.
We don't need to get pulled over with that. But yeah, that kind of thing. And that's I guess the best version I can give in this interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, that's awesome. Yeah, I've never heard that answer before of like getting resumes to tour with the.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and like sometimes it's like for merch or for like photography or like
Wow.
yeah, it's just was something or tour managing is just something I wasn't never expected before.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure it happens to quite a few bands as well,
yeah,
but yeah.
totally. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And what music are you liking and listening to at the moment?
Sam Fender, Fontaine's DC, Wonder Horse. There's a lot of like British, Irish bands that I really have been enjoying lately.
Yeah,
Slowly's record, honestly, I've been listening to a ton. Forgiven Spree, like, it's awesome.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, I really love it.
Fontaine's DC, everyone has hyped up at the moment. Are they worth checking out, obviously?
Yeah, they're sick. They have a new
Yeah.
record called Romance that I like love.
Yeah.
I would start with the song Favorite by Fontaine's DC off their
Okay.
new record.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it. I'm gonna see what all the hype is about.
Sick. Sick. Yeah. No, they're dope. They're very cool.
And if you could create a dream music video for one of your songs with no budget limits, what would it look like?
We had an idea actually. I think it was an idea of a different band, but going around and interviewing, like showing people, strangers, like on the street, like showing them the song and asking them what they think the music video would look like, and then taking
Ooh.
whatever the answers were and compiling them together into a music video from like literally written by strangers inadvertently would I think was a concept that we've thought about and talked about and we've never executed yet, but that would be one that we'd still consider, I think, for a song.
I think that's actually the best idea I've ever heard. Like I'm
Yeah,
not
it's not my. It's from I forget who it is, but our creative director Jacob has been talking about it for a while. I think there's a band. It may have actually been for Oasis, I think, where
oh
like a director brought it to like somebody in Oasis, and they I don't think they wanted to do it, but that was like the story, I guess. And we've talked about like we should try that. We should see like what
yeah,
people come up with.
yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, you got to. I hope you do. What's a favorite song of yours to play live and why?
um, I love "Kept Me Alive" is the first song on our new record, The Heart, and it's the first song on our set. Like I like coming out to "Kept Me Alive" right into "Through the Landslide," which are the one and two of like our new record, and I think that's it feels like a really like immersive, cool thing. That's like you're just walking out, you're ripping right into this new sort of like era of our band. That I've been really enjoying those. We've only played them a couple times so far at our record release show, and we did like a festival in Arizona, but. These Australian shows and then all of the Mayday Parade support shows we have in the U.S. shortly after, we'll be doing it a ton. So I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Nice, great opener. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great.
And is there anything lastly that you'd like to say to your Australian fans?
Thank you for being patient. I know it's taken literally years for us to get over there. We tried. Ironically, we were supposed to go over there with Mayday Parade before COVID. It didn't work out. It was getting ready to be announced. Obviously, it didn't. And then now we're touring them with them in the U.S. shortly after this Australian tour. Just a coincidence. But regardless, thank you for your patience. We really, really are excited to come over. We're gonna play some support shows with Slowly and alongside Honey Revenge, who's a great band. And then we're going to do a couple of headliners. I think Canberra and Belgrave. They're both on sale. We'll probably do some more older songs with those ones as well. And honestly, we're going to try to meet everybody. We're really excited to meet everybody and play music for the first time over there. So thank you.
Yes, we can't wait. Colin, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.